Hello YouTube, this is Billy. Today I'm coming to you with a 2011 Kia Sorento, and I'm replacing the outer tie rod. Right now I'm on the driver's side. It would be the same on the passenger side, but right now what you're seeing is the driver's side. The little nut and the little keeper on the nut. So this little nut on the outer tie rod, it was right here. So like your brake caliper right here, the jam nut being on the top side with the little keeper. So this little keeper had to straighten it out and then pull it out and then remove the nut there. After removing the nut, then I put the nut back on until it was flush with the top of the threads there. And once it was flush with the top here, bolt that comes in here. It's one of the slide bolts. I removed that bolt there and then swung the caliper up and put some zip ties to just keep it out of my way. And like that, I was able to carefully tap on the top of the nut that I had gotten it flush with the threads there, so that it was on there, flush to where the tip of it was right there, so I could feel it nice and flush there, and then tapped on it so that it pop down. Once I got it to pop down, then I just put some pliers on the bottom right here and held it, and with my wrench got the nut to come all the way off, and then this was able to just fall out. Okay, I went ahead and put the 15/16 on the jam nut, and once I got the 15/16 on the jam nut, by turning down it makes it go that way, and I got a very small gap counterclockwise to bring it all the way off. I had the best luck with was a pipe wrench on this back side, so that it would hold as backup to keep the inner tie rod from turning. So once the pipe wrench bottoms out on the bottom of the car, then I'm able to put out on the outer tie rod to turn that off. This inner tie rod is going to want to spin with you, and I tried vice grips and didn't have good luck with vice grips. The pipe wrench made all the difference in the world to be able to keep that from spinning while I was turning the outer tie rod to get it off. Okay, so now I have my new one right beside the old one. At this nut size, on the original one, it was 3/4 to get that one off, and on the new one, it is a different size. So don't be surprised if your new one, if the nut is a different size. It looks like a great match. Okay, I just got that screwed into place, just righty-tighty. And you'll see that small little gap right there. With the old one, that little gap that I created, I'm creating the exact same looking gap. And once I get that exact same looking gap, like I am now I'm going to run this nut to this so that it's in roughly the exact same spot as it was. I will close that gap, making sure that this nut is what turns. I want this nut to come to this outer tie rod to keep it in that spot. Okay, I carefully made sure that I got this nut brought to close that gap. It's not torqued or anything yet, it's not tight or anything yet, but they are touching each other. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up into the hole here and get the nut on the top side. Okay, now I've gotten it tightened with the wrench. I line that little hole that's through that stud. I will line it up with these little slots. That way I can get the cotter pin in there and bent over. Okay, now I got the cotter pin all the way done. So now I'm gonna take cut the zip ties that's holding this up. Make sure my brake pads are in properly. Swing this back down and put my little caliper bolt back in. Okay, now that I've got my caliper bolt back in, And when you tighten that, you don't want to tighten it too much, because most of these are aluminum cast that you don't want to, sometimes too tight. Sometimes tight does more harm than good. So once it's tightened up, just maybe a hair more, but not very much. And so that's tight, that's good. Now I'm gonna get 2 wrenches. I'm gonna get a 7/8 on this square part of the new outer tie rod, and get my 15/16 on this jam nut. And I'm going to make them real tight so that it's locked in together real good. The one that's on the outer tie rod, you want to hold that wrench and keep it from moving, okay? And on the 15/16 on the jam nut, to cause it to jam into this tie rod so that it stays put, it's actually lefty-loosey. So counterclockwise causes this jam nut to jam into that outer tie rod. Now we're done with the outer tie rod replacement. Well, for anybody this video may help, well, everybody have a good, safe day out there, and good luck. Bye.